Are we good? All right. It's the All American Prepper coming at you from the bunker. Y'all may have Sleepy Joe as y'all's president. Y'all may have Trump as y'all's president. Well, here's my president. Mr. President, do you mind introducing yourself?
Dan LeClaire is my name. Pale Horse Motorcycle Club.
So, we were talking earlier, and let's just talk just like we were talking, man. You know, there's
the last thing we were just talking about. I wanted to elaborate on this a bit.
All right.
There was a man. He was a trucker, and he had 800,000 followers. This was during the scamdemic when there were protests in trucking on the mandates so that people would not be forced to have to do something against their will, like a complete dictatorship. And this is when I lost total respect for GoFundMe. Was there's $1 million that people from the United States and Canada put in together to keep this truckers rally
Put his picture
going, and they blocked it. GoFundMe stopped it so that something for our freedoms and rights, a fight for our freedoms was on, and they went against the people. And that really caught my attention. So this trucker, getting back to 800,000 followers, I was talking to him and I was saying, you need to have the movement here in the United States go now. Go to Detroit, to the bridge where they were blocking the bridge, and go to Sweetgrass, Montana, where they were blocking the border there on a protest, and show them support now. Don't do what we did in the past in the World War. We were so late to getting involved in the war. Canada and Britain had already beat and won the war almost completely by the time we got there. Don't have history repeat itself. And you know what he did? He blocked me. And then exactly what I said to him happened. I said, what's going to happen to you as soon as you start making the movement and the truckers here in the United States? The media is going to stop talking about it, stop filming it, and no one's going to know what's going on. And that's exactly what happened. So I don't know what he was thinking when it was all said and done, but I'll never forget GoFundMe. And I'll never forget a coffee shop that was started after a Canadian hockey player, and it's in the Northeast and Canada, Tim Hortons. They were the first big corporate business that if you don't have your health card for the jab to get in, you can't come in. They were the first big company that did that. And then you had, other big shopping places, for example, that even have food eating inside their big buildings. But a mom and pop business right beside it, you couldn't go eat there. They shut them down. And the government has never given these businesses that are no more in existence, the mom and pop, the little ones, any money for their absolute scamdemic. That was just all it was. It was a worldwide effort to bring in the New World Order. Never paid a dime. You got North Carolina people dying. Never paid a dime. Nobody's talking about it.
What's going on up there in North Carolina?
Well, we got people in the club that are close to that, and the area that was hit the hardest. And there's people flat out freezing to death and dying there, and for lithium in the ground, apparently, is why this happened. They said a storm that came from the opposite direction. First time ever. We're talking north, east, west, south. The normal direction the storms always come, it came the opposite direction. Never seen before. He said this was put on purpose, this storm. As wild as this sounds. But then when you got people not getting help and you got government organizations that are stopping truckers from bringing in loads of goods, you got to start thinking there's something to this. Do you notice nobody's talking about it?
Nobody. That remember Yoda talking
Yeah.
about how they were trying to run a whole reservation off and move them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're even a Native American reservation. They're trying to get them to move on some other property because of what you're talking about. You know, it's involved in it too.
You got the Trail of Tears. History repeats itself. Trail of Tears. The government running off the North American Indians, right? Running them to another land. All of a sudden they found something that was useful on there. Oil maybe underneath. Who knows? Who knows what the thinking was. But it's just really bizarre how history repeats itself. Waco, Texas. North Carolina. It's, same paragraph. And nobody's talking about it.
I'll tell you what happened in Waco. That's what really woke me up. I'm like, look, you know, with all this craziness going on about us having to accept people's lifestyles and all, and when I don't even know how to work. I'm a Christian, and I'm not down with a lot of things, and I don't know, man. It's just not looking good, you know, for America.
You know what? Well, I mean, come on, for sure.
I'm seriously concerned about our country.
You know, the thing is, all these organizations, and this is what I'm going to do when this happens, and we're ready, and we're training for this. You had a fraudulent election, and the Democrat Party brought in front of the world, seen it, sitting in an Irish pub in Europe, looking at it, 86%. Republican Party, something, Democrat Party, right in front of people's eyes. Poof, it switched. They're like, hey, did you see that? The whole world's seen it. A fraudulent Dominion voting machine scam. It was first used in Argentina, get that political party out. And then it was used in our country. And then it was used in Canada and other countries.
Well, you know, our government interferes with elections in other countries. Well, why wouldn't they interfere with our own?
Yeah, but that's so. In my 61 years, that's the first one blatantly that I've ever seen. And the point is, nobody did anything. None of these organizations, they never did anything about it. Now you got killing your countrymen in North Carolina. Nobody ever did anything about it. I think they put something in the food to drop our natural testosterone level or something. Because our granddaddies, great granddaddies, this would have been over right after that election. Remove the government, go home, go get a job. Who do we got running the country? People come out with a law degree. Then they find out they have no people skills. Nobody believes in them. Nobody comes and hires them. Then their father says, listen, we spent a lot of money for you to become aware. Go be a politician. Nobody will know how much of a loser you are. And at the end of it all, you get a pension. Get rid of the government. Hire 5% of the bodies in government. All successful business owners. Give us 1 hour at the end of the day. Well, folks, checks, fix the roads, and do whatever else needs to be done. And get rid of all the stuff that doesn't need to be done. But
how do you feel about all that money going to Ukraine?
I think that is sickening. That It'd be like watching two drunks outside a bar, and you're fooling them on. Keep fighting, and one's got half of his face hanging out. And what's your motive behind that? Why would you want to see somebody damage themselves, especially a bunch of Caucasians fighting each other like that? How strange is that? Which is really weird, really weird. But for some reason, it's our history. Turn of times, we just can't get along. European descendants, we can't get along. We can't live in a house, pay for it. No, got 5 siblings. We all pay $1,000 rent, $5,000 a month. Can't get along. I just think it's crazy, and I think it's terrible. And I truly believe that these Satanists that are in the power, because the world is run by Satan, and the Satanists that are running the country, running the power, they want that fight going on. And all those people that died for what? Oh, by the way, Ukraine has lithium in the ground, just like North Carolina. Just a coincidence, though. Every place that they go to fight, right off the coast here on the east, I think it was Haiti or Dominion, one of the two, they found a huge oil reserve underneath. And all the Clintons were getting the country in disarray. Well, then all of a sudden this oil comes along. Well, now we know what the motive was. So it was money. Follow the money, right? Oh, hell, we'll come in and we'll get your country back under order, get you a government in place, but you got to sign these oil deals. It's all about money. Money. Yeah. What's the one thing the government doesn't want? They don't want any organization getting along, because when there's a large group of people, that's power. All the motorcycle clubs, get it? So they don't get along. So while they're battling each other, we can pull our bullshit over as a government, pull our bullshit over while they're distracted over here. Conquer and divide, right? So
oldest trick in the book.
Down in Mexico.
Yeah, let's touch on that. Christmas in Mexico. Well,
Christmas in Mexico was like, well, it's 8 days of a party. I'm like Heineken, or what do they call it? Heineken?
Yeah, Hanukkah.
Hanukkah. It's 8 days celebration, right past New Year's. I'm like, oh, okay. We're so brainwashed and indoctrinated north of Mexico. We get 1 day for Christmas, and then we get one more day off for New Year's, and then get back to work until next Christmas, because that's the next holiday you're going to get. We're not working as school teachers. We're working. No, there's no holidays. You work till next Christmas. And we just go along with this. In Mexico, they don't get along with it. They don't go along with it. Their government is more obvious of a dictatorship than ours. Ours hides it, but not so good lately. So if it wasn't for the cartel, which puts the government back in their place a little bit, they'd push all the people into a corner where you wouldn't be able to do this, you wouldn't be able to do that, you wouldn't be able to make a living. Just starve and barely get by, because that's what they really want. They don't want you out sitting there having a good time, going here and going there, retiring. No, they want to give you the jab so you're dead at 55. Perfect system. Your kids are working, and then we don't have to pay your old ass a pension, costing us money. I mean, what do they call us? Feeders, or a waste of something, When you can't work no more, no, they don't want you here. So what system would do that? Well, the jab. Perfect system. I was in horse training business. You got to go to arenas. You got to have certain vaccinations on horses to get in an arena. And their lives would be 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, maybe. And they're dead. But the horses out on the ranch that never got vaccinated, 35 years old, 40. One third. So yeah, die at 50, perfect system. You don't need the black lung. on the East Coast with the coal mines and the 10-year-old children working in the mines, because that's what the government would love us to have. Wasn't very long ago that 10-year-old children were working in the mines. That's hard to believe, isn't it? But that shows you the mentality of these creeps. Sell us on the one day of a year you get off, Christmas, one day, New Year's, then get the hell back to work. Or your kids are going to be following you to work at 10 years old. So if we don't have a government that fears us a bit, because if we don't, what do you think's going to happen? We're going to have no freedoms. None. Look what happened in Australia. Give up your weapons, and then all of a sudden the government just cranked down their throat what they really wanted. Oh, by the way, do you know in Australia, you can't ride with a motorcycle club. 2 people or more, 3 or more. So with 2 you can ride, 3 or more, you get pulled over and ticketed, some kind of ticket that has terminologies of organized conspiracy of crime. Yeah. So they try saying anyone that's riding in a group is an organized crime. So in other words, the motorcycle clubs, like I got lots of full patch members that are friends on my Facebook, just for the simple fact of communication a bit, different clubs. And I talked to them. There's some really good friends that are rebels, for example. Hey, man, y'all took off the Confederate flag from your cut, man. What's going on? There's a lot of pause, man. You know what I mean? Like, they can barely get it out. So I don't even bring it up. I got one explanation from one brother there who said, yeah, we took it off.
But,
Okay.
you know,
So a prayed over flag they took off their cut. So I'm listening to this going, a prayed over flag, they took it off their cut. Because it's not as accepted by the government as it once was. So the government is pressuring them so much, yeah, but they'll still ride together and they'll get pulled over and they'll get the hassle. In Australia, but the long-time clubs, they're still resisting. Thank God. If it wasn't for the motorcycle clubs, cartel of Mexico, the government would just push you in a corner. You wouldn't even be leaving your house except to go to work, get back home, get the hell to sleep at 8 o'clock because you're starting an early day tomorrow.
That you was reading me earlier. That you was reading about the club.
Which part?
The
Confederacy?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Give me a second. I know what you're talking about. I'll get that up for you. Yeah. Well, once a week I put this out so that people understand what it is. Because there's organizations that have used things that they had no business ever using. They have no skin in the game to ever use that title. Here you go. The Confederacy is not a place. It's an ideology that has traveled worldwide. We will not listen to the government or be told what to do by the government. It is not based off of race or creed. It represents freedom. Now, that's the truth about the Confederacy and the prayed over flag. Because in other countries in the world, when they had tyrants for governments and they finally took them over, one was just an island over here, which was all black men mostly. And they had a little part of their country flag and the Confederacy flag behind it, and they're waving it because it represents freedom. The government is not going to tell us what to do, imprison us, dictate to us like they want to. So if we don't fight for our freedoms. Second World War granddaddy, he'd chuckle. He'd laugh a little bit. You young people, you're just all giving up your freedoms. I know what he's talking about. Now, when we started this club, a big part of it was, can we get a group of men that are self-thinkers, try and motivate your community to fight for your freedoms? Because if you lose those freedoms, look at Australia. It's going to be a big battle to come back for them. And what's happening here, right here in our country, north of Mexico, all the way down. I never thought I would see this. I remember in the 1970s when the government very quietly said that they're building some buildings and prisons where people that were unconvicted of a crime. I mean, never unconvicted of a crime. My father was talking to me about this, and I was 15 years old. Kind of understood it, kind of not. He's like, we have become North Korea. We have become China. We have become a dictatorship now. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean, Dad? They're going to build buildings where you're going to have people go in prison before they've ever been convicted, gone to court, the legal process, innocent until proven guilty. Now you're guilty and you're in a cage against your will until you prove your innocence. And that's called county prisons, detainment units, or whatever they call them. I mean, talk about a foresight. 15 years old.
I can elaborate on that. Look,
Yeah.
I got charged with a crime that I did not do.
That's what they all say.
No, yeah, but no, I didn't. I got proven innocent. When it was all over with, no, he didn't do it. But
I'm just teasing you, by the way. Brother.
I know. But still, though, I got arrested, put in a cage, had to come up with $5,000 to buy my freedom, which really I wasn't free because I was still their property, just out. They could come grab me anytime they want.
No, it's called bail. And they let you out, hoping that you're gonna fuck up, and they'll take your $5,000. Pardon my language here.
It happens. It happens.
The thing is, they make a mistake. They got your $5,000 because that's the pig machine. You're feeding it, and that bail system is set up 100% for you to fail.
Well, it's ironic that you say that because one bail bondsman pulled my bail, got arrested again, had to bail out again, another $5,000 on the same thing. And then when I went to court, because I said I didn't do it, and they were trying to scare me. They were like, well, if you get convicted, you're going to get like 20 years. And I'm like, look, I did not do it. And so like, well, if you plea bargain, you'll just get like 5 years. And we recommend that and da-da-da-da. And that was a public pretender, the state representative that's supposed to defend you.
Yeah, of course.
And I said, hell no. So I went and hired a real lawyer because I did not do it. And I was found innocent. So I was innocent.
How much did that cost you?
That's what I'm getting. I was innocent, found innocent. And it cost me over $10,000. And I never got a penny of it back. No, no restitution. Oh, he didn't do it. Well, no false incarceration. I was incarcerated. No, I'm not incarcerated. I was put in a cage. And I didn't even do it, man. And I was found innocent.
Yep, that's very lucky. Do you know almost all death row people that end up dead from the government? They got one common connection. You know what it is? They're all poor. Very seldom there's a rich man ever end up getting killed on death row. You just look it up. Look up the history. You know, it was ironic that my father was talking to me about that because I'm not proud of this fact, but everyone knows. You know, I'm an unfortunate graduate of maximum security prison. If they really knew the truth, everything I've done in my life, and there's nothing that I've ever done in my life that I'm not proud of everything. But there is nothing on my criminal record that I wouldn't do again, and that I'm embarrassed of, because I'm not. And if someone's gonna come in and threaten my family, my brotherhood, or that kind of thing, it's in people's DNA. It's just the way their brain is wired. I'm not going to sit on my hands and do nothing about it. And unfortunately, that gets you into a cage, because today you can't even touch anyone. Bang, you're arrested. Pig machines got you, and everything you just explained. You got to come up with the money. You got to get out of there. And why? When I was younger, a man took a punch at you. You took one at him. And the pigs came. Okay, is it over? Everybody's okay? And they left. Now, paperwork, handcuffed, behind your back with the big torture cuffs. And out there to the county jail or remand you go. Got to come up with money. The whole thing's changed. The dictatorship is getting tighter and stronger. And we're losing our freedoms. That's what was so refreshing about Mexico. You know, $20. Pay them off. There's no tickets. No, just leave. In some ways, it's a way more freedom than we have here. You can ride in the back of a pickup truck down there and not get pulled over by the law and ticketed like here back home. You know, it's just altogether different.
I remember when we rode in the back of the truck, wasn't never a problem.
Mm-hmm. How it's changed, huh?
Yep.
Little things here and there. When nobody's saying nothing about it. We take a look at it overall.
Tightening that noose, man.
Just
Slowly choking us.
Like a screw, huh? Like they used to call the prison guards like a screw. They're tightening it up all the time, right? And now these young men, they come to prison, and they call the prison guards, hey, CO. I go, you know what CO means? Corrections officer. Take a 2-month course, and then you call and get a title as an officer. You will never see that title in this motorcycle club ever. Officer, my ass. I got family with skin in the game. I'm getting a little bit excited here, aren't I? Calm down a little bit.
Loving it, brother. Reach it.
That is too funny, man. I mean, that are military men for a long time, and they've never been an officer. And somebody to call himself that title. The hardest thing in the world for me to do is to call a pig officer. They pulls you over. I mean, wow, I got a really hard time with that. But you know what? I just don't call them anything. I just talk polite, and now I'm good with them. I'm good at talking with them, you know. And usually it works out in your favor in a better way, right? To be civil and watch out what you say and try not to come across in an aggressive way.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I got pictures on here on the channel with me with Sheriff Grady Judd, which is known nationwide, riding my Harley, the only man I ever let ride my bike. So, you know, cordial, cool.
If you have that ability that you can coexist and it's to your advantage, like let's say the truth. Let's talk truth here. Can we talk truth here? I don't know.
Absolutely. This channel is about truth, logic, and common sense.
Yeah, common sense. You know, so if you got an opportunity to get along, you get along.
Yes.
Is it your first choice of people you'd hang out with? Hell no, right? But you get along, show a little bit of respect, a little commonality, and then you coexist in the community. And I believe that's probably what you meant by what you just said, right?
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I used to be able to do that. I'll admit it. I'll tell you the truth. I can't no more. No, I can't. No. A year and a half ago, I had first and foremost, this particular lawman that I'm talking about has been criminally charged since, but ran into the back of me out there in the Great Plains on a little highway, no one around, and broke all my ribs on my left side, hit me from behind on my motorcycle, dealing with a pickup truck backing up into my lane, trying to figure out what that was. Mom, looking at this, boom, he smoked me from behind. No lights on, no attempts to communicate that they were even trying to pull me over. I had no idea. Just smoked me. And then come running out the door like a steer wrestler after all my ribs are broke, down on the ground, knee me in the back. And I found out something that day. You know what I found out?
What's that, brother?
Remember the old saying, dress for the slide? Dress for the big machine dog, man. Yeah, this is a thick old bull hide, this one. And wear your thick leather jacket because the dogs, they can't penetrate it. Thank God I had that on that day. 30 years as a horse trainer is what I worked and traveled doing. And we train dogs too. Interesting story is I look up, this lawman's knee me in the back. All my ribs are broke. I looked over and said to him, so why are you doing that? I said, all my ribs are broke. I said, I'm old enough to be your dad. What the hell are you doing? Anyways, I guess common sense. Some point, knee and me finally he stops and trying to hit me and all that kind of crap. And I look up in front of me as close as this camera right here. There's a black dog bouncing around. I remember in prison, men talking about getting their skulls tore off by these dogs. And so I lift up my arm because he's there and he grabs on my arm. Long story short, 3 minutes, this dog hanging on my arm, he starts getting tired. His bite is getting not as hard.
You were talking to him too.
I wasn't talking to him yet.
Okay.
Then the pig goes like this. He goes, yeah, just take your arm and just crank it around your back and we'll get you cuffed. And I was like I said, I train dogs. I know. Anybody knows anything about dogs, pitties, that type of dog breed. You're doing that little game, pulling on the rope, you stop, and he stop, looks at you, then just take it again, and then he's like a shark, right? That's what the lawman was trying to get me to do, so that dog would do that to me. Well, I was like that, looking at him, and I said, no. And the dog's eyes are all squinted, and he's got a good hold on me still. And the lawman says, yeah, just, you can do it. Just crank your arm around the back. Looking up, and I said, no. And all of a sudden, the eyes are squinting. All of a sudden, his eyes open. And it was like a cartoon. Like, no, you talking to me? His ears, whoop. And I said, no, he's too strong. And the dog, he's starting to let go. And the pig sees that, the one that's kneeing me and stuff, he's their handler. He's not a trainer. He didn't train a dog. A trainer trained him, like what I did for a living. And then here's the dog, and I'll teach you the cues, how to keep this dog in your world so he does his job that I've trained him to do. Well, he comes over with a device, looks like a pen, little tool on an angle, so when he twists it, it expands in his mouth. He comes up, but he didn't have to touch the dog. Dog lets go. So he gets a hold of the dog, because there's all these pigs there, and he wants to look like the man, like he's in control. big tough pig, man. He's tactical pig. You know what I mean? When there's an issue, they think they need something else to come. Different police, they have a unit that they, I hate to use the word, and I'm not going to. Tactical team. So, anyways, he takes the dog and he grabs it, throws it back in that Suburban in its cage. Now, if you're going to reward a dog for doing a good job, that dog did a great job. He was a stud, man. He did his job. Leave him out on a lead shank, hang out with him for a while, and reward him for a job well done by being outside with him. Nope. Right to the cage. Because he's never been in the cage, that pig. Well, we have. And he don't know what it is in the head. But the dog does. That's the reward he gets. Anyways, another couple of minutes, that dog would have been attacking him. He would have been in my world. But that man, he couldn't understand why the dog was quitting. It didn't make sense to the pig. It baffled him. But you all know now why. But would I ever tell him that? Hell no. He's a piece of shit. The good Lord has a place waiting for him when it's all said and done. Do you know what it says? Do you know what it says? Not a Bible thumper, but you know what it says? The key turner lives a life of hell and perishes to an existence unimaginable by any man. What does that mean? What does that mean? The key turner is anyone involved in the pig machine. Cops, judges, prison pigs. The life of hell. What's the life of hell? Worrying about somebody coming to your house and killing you because of what you do for a living. And when you perish to an existence unimaginable by any man, what does that mean? Well, you think of the worst torture you can. You can't come close to it. Unimaginable by any man. It says that in the Jewish Bible. A man in prison right beside me in the digger. We're down a little scrap. Moment you locked up now forever. I don't want you walking around. I want you in a cage. You're not going to be on no unit. You get those prison pigs worrying about you, I'll save that one. I'm going to help you all out. He told me this story. Well, I looked it up and it was true. Wow, I never knew it said that. I'll mention that once to this prison worker, whatever you want to call him. Guard. Only one I ever seen out in public a year later. Told him that story. Comes up. I got thank you enough, man, when you told me that. I knew exactly who he was. What do you mean? I quit 2 weeks later, man. I went and looked it up, and you were right. I never knew it said that. And I got myself an incredible job. Twice the amount of money, less hours. And I'm loving life, man. I can't. I'm thank you enough, man. I'm out of here, but thank you. No, right on. And they try coming near me, hug me, and none of that stuff. But I could tell what he said. It was from the heart. He was almost in tears, man. Thanking me for that. How weird is that? I've never seen one ever in the public. You want to know why? Because the other ones stay at home. They don't go nowhere because they're scared somebody will recognize them and want to kill them, man. Pardon me. I don't mean to get aggressive again. But you know what I'm saying? It's the truth. It's the truth, man. Like I said, there's nothing on my record that I'm not proud of. Nothing. Ain't no bad shit, no bad action. My daddy. Respect your elders. Respect women, don't touch them. Respect children and animals. Got that? But a man, why not knock him out? That was my pops when he was young, by the way. Oh. And that's the way I grew up. Some kid, a little bit older than you, give you a couple shots. I'm going to go back. My dad go back to his house, his parents' house. You're going to fight that boy right now. Yep. And if you don't, the liquor I'm going to give you at home is going to be way worse than that little kid would ever touch you. I'll tell you what. Little Daddy was there, man. I had all the confidence in the world. I was ready to rock and roll. And he said to me, don't bother talking. you crank him with a straight right as soon as he comes within striking zone, at least once. He goes to the ground. Don't you get on him. Don't you touch him. You let him back up like a man. That's how it's done. Okay. All right, Dad. I'm good to go. And I was. I did just what he said.
I was raised the same way, brother. Same way.
I mean? It was like, today, look at it. Look what happened. The pig machine would be there. They'd electrocute my father and chemical spray him. They'd kill my father today if he was alive. When we were young, the law, it was something to behold and something to watch when they come around my father. Yeah. He had a way of handling the situation. It was amazing. I'm telling you, though, you could tell that they were terrified of him, man. Terrified of him. But he didn't abuse that. He would work with it, and he never went to a cage. We were in the wrong time. We should have been here, instead of born in our time frame, we should have been born 20, 30 years earlier than that.
I say that all the time, man. I say that all the time.
Mm-hmm. That's why I always say, like to you, brother, watch out for that working the door job. That was my first criminal charge. Working the door at 17. I had no business even being in a bar. Met a man that owned one at the gym. Didn't even talk about age or nothing. I'll just pay you cash. Come work the door. Well, that was the first assault charge I got. Bang, I had a criminal record. Now you can't get a job nowhere. That's why you got to watch where you go and what you do for a living, because if it's not for you and could pull you into the web of prison, don't do it.
I only got 11 aggravated battery charges, but only 11, brother. Only 11 of them, I believe. But I ain't ever hurt nobody that didn't have it coming.
Yeah.
So
absolutely, myself too. I was never. My father, we'd go out with him, and he was something, man. It was just like he hated bullies. He never fight with anyone. He's never a weaker person, that's for sure. But a bully, somebody come in, we have a few drinks, or you hear stories, Someone was a bully, and he had this one sentence he would say to someone before they got knocked out, just get their attention, looking right at them. Hey, Jimmy Joe, is what he'd say. Now, why don't you try that with me? Why don't you try and bully me like that? He'd take him out, man. That's it. There you go. The law would come down, ask around what happened, who it is. They all know who it is. Find out why. They wouldn't get arrested. They just look over. They take that man out and leave with him. But if that happened today, well, I already said what would happen. They kill him. Pepper spray and electricity, and 15 of them on his back with one knee, so he can't breathe. Like that man in New York, that big black man in New York that had no cigarettes. Yeah, the sleeper hold on him for 10, 15 minutes. I was watching that. 3 seconds. Turn your wrist up, around, deep in the pit. Push their head. So deep in the pit. Turn it up. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. Asleep. Put them down gently on the ground, because they're smashed their face on the ground because they're out. 10, 15 minutes. He had to sleeper on this man. And I'm like, what in the hell is that? And remember, he killed him.
It's murder, brother.
Yeah. That's the law that we got nowadays.
Well, the one that put the dog on you, he ended up getting charged.
Yeah, he did. I found out some more things about that man out here in the Great Plains. Do you know, when I went to the hospital, I have never heard a doctor talk like this in my life. First thing he said to me when I got in there, I could even tell you what the ambulance man said too. He knew exactly who those men were, knew his name, and he said, he's a serial killer. He has killed so many young men in this community, and the government keeps paying him a check. He's been here 4 years. Can't believe that he's here. and the men he works with. Big tough men, and they intimidate the rest of the police department to stay away. And they come up with a scenario like, they did the pick maneuver and rolled the vehicle, but they don't say they did the pick maneuver. They come up with a story. Oh, he's driving so fast, he rolled, he got out of control, flying out of the vehicle and broke all his ribs, and was dead. But the truth is, they did the pick maneuver, rolled the truck, he come flying out. The damage from that, breaking his rib, and kneed him in the back, will bust his ribs up good. And now we'll leave him there where he'll suffocate to death. And his oxygen level will go lower. And then when he's dead, then they'll call the ambulance. And that's what this doctor told me. And I could not believe my ears, but I could, because I remember when I passed out from lack of oxygen, I kept asking when the ambulance is getting there. I woke up from that big 3-ton vehicle that they use for ambulances now. Spooked me. Woke up, and as I was waking up, I heard the lawman say this: "Oh, don't worry about it, he's dead." That's what he said. Don't worry about it, he's dead. As I was getting up, and they were trying to stop me from getting the ambulance. The ambulance driver had his phone up like this, said, "Hey, everybody, listen up." And there was some man on there, introduced himself, started talking, and they moved away from me, man. And I was under their care, and under the ambulance I went. But I think back to that. There's actually people like that in the world. I never did anything to anyone. I never hurt anyone. It wasn't somebody shot at the gas station. There was no reason for this. Like, why did this happen to this level? Was the part that I didn't understand until that doctor said what he said to me, and the staff in the hospital said similar things. The ambulance driver said similar things. He said to me that, he goes, "Hey, look at this," in the ambulance. Once he had me all hooked up where it's on all your stuff, I guess, your oxygen level, heartbeat, all that, blood pressure. Says to this other man working as an ambulance driver, and says, "Look at this. 14 years doing this job, never seen this before." He goes, look at this oxygen level. I've never seen anybody with an oxygen level that low, conscious, never mind sitting here right now talking to me. That's the first. I say that's called adrenaline. When people are trying to kill you.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And I don't even remember the ride in the ambulance to the hospital. I remember once I got to the hospital. But no. God is my witness. If one word I say was not true. It's all you got in this world, when it's said and done, is your word. The man in the mirror. Who you are. I'm not perfect, man. I make mistakes with my temper, with my thinking. I ride motorcycles way too fast. I ride like I shouldn't ride. I have a hard time following the rules of society. But morally, I can say, I don't do things wrong, people. I don't hurt people. People hurt me or try to, but I'm just doing my own thing. Riding fast. That's just the way it is. And
free man.
I guess so. I guess that's the price you pay for your freedom, huh? Shit, can't buy pigs, dogs on you. Hey,
freedom ain't free. Freedom ain't free. Freedom ain't free. It's got,
That's a fact, man.
Freedom ain't free, brother.
I could tell you something that blow your mind.
Not anymore. Mm-hmm. It's changed so much since I was young, man. It's just insane.
Yeah.
What all was going on.
Well, my brother over here, man. People say, just what I've seen and know about you in your lifetime, you should write a book, man. People wouldn't believe it. It's just, I've heard that throughout my life. Like, I'm tamed down now. I mean, I used to be just wild. 2 years, 3 years, nonstop every day, almost every day, police chases on my motorcycle and burning them. This is back in the day when they wrecked their cars, man, trying to catch you. Now it's kind of like a lot of them, the smart ones don't want to keep their job. As soon as you hit the horsepower, They just back out of it. Whoa, okay. I'm not getting involved in this, man. But every once in a while, you come across some hero, huh? You know what I mean? The ultimate pig, man. You know what I mean? Gonna have a temper tantrum because you didn't pull over. So I'm gonna have a temper tantrum as a lawman. He didn't pull over. You know? So we better kill him. Because he didn't pull over. We better kill him with our vehicle now. Not with these. Our vehicle. And once he's half killed and half crippled on the road, we come out like the heroes we are. Knee him in the back, electrocute him, put the dog on him. You know, oh, wait. Can't do that now. Get the electricity out of him, then put the dog on him. It's just, what kind of men up at the highest part? The ideology of the ultimate pig machine, the politicians to the people that teach these young men how to be a lawman. They're the ones that are doing it wrong. For anyone to do that when somebody hasn't really done something bad to people in society, where they think that's, hey, I can do that. Hell, man, I'm a cop. I can kill you. And people don't, 99% of the society has never even really talked to one other than, yes, sir, officer, here's my license and insurance. And that's all they know.
I deal with them all the time, you know, working as a bouncer.
Yeah.
I get along because we got a good sheriff down here, you know, but you damn sure don't want to end up in this jail down here. I'll tell you that. You come to Polk County on vacation, leave on probation, and come back on violation. Our sheriff don't play, brother. And it is torture. That jail is torture. And, you know,
how'd you like the windows?
They had 10 put over them. Couldn't see out, man. Straight up torture.
Why is that?
I about lost my damn mind, man. And I was innocent. That's the whole damn thing. Is
talk about the windows.
Found innocent.
Talk about the windows. Talk about the windows that you can't see through. Come on, right here. Let's go there.
It makes you crazy.
They know what they're doing.
It's mental torture, man.
That's right. 7x11. All you can hear is the sound of a blower bringing air in. Make you go nuts. Death penalty? You're doing them a favor when you kill them. Then the pig machine figured that out. Oh, we got to stop the death penalty. Leave them life in prison. Because we can torture them more. Just a fluke. Cinder blocks, no more bars. It's a fluke. They came across these buildings to house these poor people that end up in this system, man. That we can torture them. Hey, hunting, kill them humanely. Not a body shot. Hit them with a headshot, drop them. The meat's better. They don't get tortured. They die humanely. That's how we were raised. I grew up shooting critters in the prairies, in the Great Plains. Headshots. That's what all of our older people told us to do. So the point is, don't torture things. But yet, our so-called, whatever you call this that we're living in, once they figure out how they can torture you more, get rid of the death penalty. Let me ask you a question. You took out some of these men that are doing life in prison. Here's a pistol. Boom. I'm out of here. Woo. Time out. Right now. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if I was looking at that situation, I like to just get things over with, man.
Well, you know, we're all living and walking a line where we could get in trouble and be looking at that situation. What are you going to do? Make sure the last one is right here before you go. Yeah. Are you going back? What are you going to do? I guess whatever mood I'm in that day, right?
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know if you can handle in the head.
Yeah, a
I
lot of
was
people
down.
do. A lot of people do make that choice, by the way,
Well, 200 people filmed this, by the way. One-Eyed Jack, South Dakota. Sturgis. I was just came up Mexico in 4 years. I wanted to get to Sturgis. Bad. Yeah. So I get there and I miss this group of people by 1 hour. So I asked the staff working there, so yeah, have you seen such and such? They're friends of mine. I just was going to buy them a beer. And yeah, they were just here an hour ago and they're here every night. They're going to be here tomorrow. Okay, great. Great. I stay there in that parking lot all night. Close my eyes a couple hours in the morning. And third day, ain't nobody coming here, man. Walk around at all the little bars in Sturgis and, hey, have you seen any of these? And looking for them myself, They have a jacket on, Go for a little ride around some of the towns and see some bikers out there. Hell yeah, we seen them a couple days ago, but come to think of it, man, I haven't seen them in the last few days. Oh, okay. I go back there, make a long story short, in the parking lot, having a beer. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Place is packed with people, but I have observed that this is one big money maker for the pig machine, man. I was amazed. That stop sign, you don't put 2 feet down, pigs pull you over and big ticket. Have you been drinking? Oh, drunk driving charge, take your motorcycle. In those 3 days, I've seen this over and over. 2 o'clock at night, they turn the corner and the pigs come around the corner and they got the tow truck right behind them. These people spent a fortune here. And right at 2 o'clock, along comes the pig machine. Time to get our pay. I was watching this going, wow. In Mazatlan, Moto Fiesta, it's a huge motorcycle rally. Best one in the world, by the way. You can ride with a bottle of whiskey in your hand and not one lawman will talk to you, won't give you a ticket because they want it to grow. Well, everywhere in our country and north, they want to wreck them. They want to eliminate them. They don't want them going on anymore. So they want to give you tickets so you never come back. That's what they want. And the numbers have really went down in those places. I'm sitting in the parking lot having a beer, and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, along comes, like I said, there's crowds all over the street. And then they introduce themselves. I say, excuse me, we're such and such from such and such law department. Huh? Looking around, and there's 20 of them. Plain clothes, not uniforms. Everyone's all wearing a uniform. Anyway, long story short, they're looking at some bike over here that ain't mine. And there's some saddlebags just sloped over it, not attached to the motorcycle. I noticed that. I also noticed that the license plate is from Germany. Huh. And they're addressing me like that's my bike. And then this is in the parking lot, One-Eyed Jack, staff parking only. And then the street there with all the motorcycles, and right to the right, the thickness of an alleyway, is Hell's Angels Clubhouse. So I go, can you get on that motorcycle and just move it down, and just go get it on out of this parking lot? I look at him and, yeah, okay, that's what you want. I get on it and I turned the corner because some of them moved in my way, and I turned to the right, and there's the front lawn of the Hells Angels right there. So I grabbed the rope and come onto the front lawn, and Hells Angels like, "Hey man, what's going on, man?" I said, "No, just relax. Just deal with these pigs, man. And don't worry about it. We're all right." I get off and go back on the back alley. You're under arrest. And I was like, "Under arrest for what?" Just come over here. You're under arrest. Well, so while this is going on, they pushed the motorcycle back into the alleyway. Because I was looking over there and I watched him do it. This isn't hearsay. So I get around the van that they had there, showed up. I'm standing there. I'm cuffed up, and there's this one lawman. He's hot. He's a nice man. Give me some water, treat me like a human being. I'm standing there. There's 150 people up on top of that balcony, man, filming this. Like that, with their phones. Everybody's got their phone, you know. Everyone's a reporter. Well, I'm standing there like that. This is taking a long time, man. Well, the sweetest little dog shows up. Little German Shepherd, that little female one, you know, like young, sweet little thing. I didn't really know at first why I was there. That motorcycle, you know, it's back there on the street. Somebody brought her over. And the dog goes around the motorcycle and comes back around and sits down and right there looking at the one saddlebag, just as sweet as could be. Well, she was a little sweetheart. She really was. It was so cute to see. She sat so nice. Well, I guess that was their green light. We got the right to look in these saddlebags now. Up comes a pistol. Up comes out some other shit they had in that bag, whoever's it was. I'm still like not really worried about it. It's got nothing to do with me, man. You asked me to bring it up. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Well, I got arrested and charged with everything they had in the saddlebags and drinking in public or something like that. Thank God that I have some solid people in my life and brothers, man. $20,000 to get out of Meade County 2 days so I could leave. $20,000.
Damn.
$20,000. I'm like, you gotta be $20,000. Anyways, the brothers paid it. I got out. I got them all paid back. I worked my ass off, man, to get them paid back, but I did. But the next night, I get out, and I got a T-shirt on, leather pants, and it's cold, man. I got no hotel here, you know. I'm staying up all night, sleeping 1 o'clock in the afternoon, about 4 or 5, and do it again. That's what I've been doing. That's how we roll, man, when we go to our motorcycle rides. You know, I'm not here to sleep in a hotel, man. I'm here to have a good time. And what the hell am I going to do now? So I just can't get it out of my head. I go back to that One-Eyed Jack because some of the doormen there were real helpful to me. Good men, you know. And I felt bad, man, what they seen. So they helped me out with some clothing and stuff like that. And I walked back to the front. I can't get it in my head. Walked back to the front, about 80 of those Hells Angels sitting there. And I said, told them what would happen. And they're like, well, we weren't here then, man. We didn't see that. That sounds terrible. Yeah, no, we wouldn't do that. I don't know, kind of look out of my face or what. But that was their story, you know. And I said, I'm just going to tell them what I said. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm going to watch out. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Anyways, I said something to him. I said, you and this one-eyed snitch and those sons of snitches that had a lawman walk up to me. Do you know that one lawman that was in amongst them? You know what he said to me? After a long time, you know what he said to me? He said, yeah. He said, there's a motorcycle club that pointed you out to us. Said there was a dangerous man in town. I said, I looked at him and I go, are you serious? He goes, yeah, Sons of Silence. And I said, well, why would you tell me that? Because I don't care about them. You think I really am impressed by cowards and snitches? I mean, you've been a gentleman, polite, from what I can see. So what they were saying is, I can't see it myself, but I got a job to do. I got to take you to this county. So I just thought maybe you might want to know that. So I respected him. Okay. Now, let me ask you this. Do I believe that man or do I not? Well, I think I read people pretty good. And I believe he's telling me the truth. Yeah. And Sons of Silence, I was down in Mexico one time. They intimidated 8 men that we had in an Iowa chapter of our motorcycle club. They were just nice men, businessmen. They weren't bad men. They weren't good men that could fight like hell. They were just businessmen, family men, But the kind of men that my father, like I was telling you a story, when a bully would pick on them, Anyways, they folded up their vests and they quit. That was it. And I said, well, who was it? How'd you get a hold of them? Well, I got a hold of some of them. I just told them the truth. I can tell them. I said, I see you. I'm gonna punch your teeth into the back of your throat. I said, I promise you. Promise you that. Yeah. You'll find out not everyone in this club is the same. Mm-hmm. You see this patch right here? 0.1 of 1% is federal. That represents the small percentage of men in our motorcycle club that have done federal prison time. Not something to be proud of. It's a fact of life. Somebody came back from Nam. It's a fact of life. They were there, right? We were there too. But not everyone's that businessman, though. But anyways, I guess they didn't want to come to the parking lot like a gentleman and have a beer with me. I wasn't going to do nothing to him. I said that before, but that's just talk, right? But I don't know. I walked around my cut, and the 6 bars downtown and Sturgis, in and out of them. I'd walk through and I'd be looking for Sons of Silence, man. I'd stop and say hi. I never seen any though. I'll walk out of the club. And I found out after, hey, man, nobody's supposed to be walking in the clubs, man, with their cut on. You've been doing this for 3 days in a row. But I never stayed in the bar. I walked through it looking, leave, walk through the next one. So before the doorman or whatever could even come and talk to me, I guess I was already out of the saloon. I wasn't even thinking about it. I wear this everywhere, man. I wore this everywhere I went in Mexico, in amongst the cartel, everywhere I went, but respectfully and humbly. Like they would say to me, hey, Pale Horse. They never knew my name. Just, hey, Pale Horse. Hey, Pale Horse. You've always been humble and polite to us. That's what they say to me. Because that's the way my daddy raised me, But I was like, I almost can't live north of Mexico anymore. All I do is get in trouble. Welcome to the prison of the United States of America. Because they just want to get you in a cage. They want to get you there for a life bit. They want to get you there for whatever bit they can. And they definitely want to financially destroy you so you can't go anywhere. And that's the ideology of the pig machine. And there it is. And they take that for what it is. Will I ever go to Sturgis again? Not a chance. That is one big pig machine just looking to get people in trouble like nothing I've ever seen in my life. In Mazatlan, Mexico, the cartel tells the pigs, move out of the way. Don't talk to no one. They tell the motorcycle clubs, everybody get along. No fighting. and everybody gets along. It's really something. You can drop your guard and have a good time there because you don't see no one argue in Mazatlan Moto Fiesta in the end of April, early May. It's a freedom you never seen before in your life. It's just unbelievable. It's worth going to check it out. It'll blow your mind. But the motorcycle rallies in our country and north of our country, they're all the same. United States, Canada is the same thing. It's this big machine just wanting to get you in trouble. Ain't no fun no more because you got to be dead sober. Got to look around, got to get out of here, man, because there's too many pigs starting to hang around here, and it's unbelievable. They see a 3-piece patch and they think, oh, there's the bad guys. It's unbelievable the way they think. I mean, they don't all think that way because remember the one South Dakota that told me, yeah, Sons of Silence. Sons of Silence sent us over here. They're the ones that tipped it off, so to speak. Set you up. I was just like, no. Didn't know what to think of that. I'm looking at these Hells Angels, the days they were there and wearing shorts, haircuts. I had no money. You can't get on a bus. You can't take a cab ride when you don't have identification or money. You can't get on a bus. You can't get on a plane. You can't get gas money. You can't do anything to get on your motorcycle and leave because you ain't got nothing. You don't got paperwork. You ain't got nothing. They took everything I had. I had my motorcycle and no keys because when I went to the prison county, they took all my stuff. So here I got my bike parked way over there, 2 blocks away, and I can't even get to it to leave. So anyways, I worked it out and got it stored with these people. Thank God for that. How do I get money to get out of there? Well, in 2 hours, asking men around our age that were by themselves, by the way, because if they had a woman with them, the woman would talk them out of giving you any money. And I was trying to get $20 to get on a bus to get out of here. Showed him my paperwork from Meade County. One man said, hey, listen, man, he's having a hard time. I don't understand it. And he gave me $20. Anyways, 2 hours, I had $300. Get a cab, $120 to a truck stop. I'm asking truckers if I can get a ride. I got to get back to where I can access identification and become a human being again. It's the weirdest thing. I never, wouldn't even think of it. When you got no ID on you, no cards, and no money. So I get out of Sturgis all night long asking truckers, oh, no, we can't. It's a company policy and there's no passengers. I can't do it. I'll lose my job. All night long. Finally, I meet a man that's owner-operator, got his own gig, everything, the truck trailer. I do the best I can talking to him. And, okay, I'll give you a ride. Thank God for him. He was an angel for me. I got back home and grabbed some identification and start all over because it was all gone from the pig machine.
That's why I don't go to Daytona Bike Week. Remember, man, you was like, hey, I'm not going.
I was trying to get you to come to Daytona.
Yeah, and
not anymore, man.
I told you. Remember, I said I'm not going down there because it just costs you will get too many damn tickets.
Yeah, man. You were right. You're right, man.
I told you. Because it happened to me, before. I mean, dude, I left there with freaking 20 tickets, man, by the time I got out of there. It was crazy. I mean.
Everybody says that, man. That's so true.
I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it anymore, man. It is a big money-making racket. They make a lot of money during Bike Week, man, just victimizing us. That's why I don't go there, man.
Yeah, so true. It'd be like literally you'd have to not wear a cut. I don't know, maybe wear Miami Dolphins football team shirt or something. And
If
don't get in trouble.
if I'm riding my bike, I got my cut on. That's all there is to it.
Anywhere I go, I got my cut on. On planes, through security, motorcycle. I mean, that's not even.
You know,
Not even
at the
mention.
club I work at, this is what happened. They don't allow cuts in there. All right, so this motorcycle crew come up, solid, good guys, man. Really, I'll even say their name because they're a solid club, man. They're called the Punishers. Solid guys, real good guys.
Okay.
But as head of security, I walked out there and I said, "Look here, man. I am a biker too, and I would not go in anywhere that I can't wear my cut. And I'm warning you guys that, you know, as soon as you walk in there, management's going to tell you to take your cut off. And I just wouldn't do it, guys. I warned them. And so they went in. Next thing you know, they had to take their cut off. It was ridiculous. And then it ended badly. And then guess who had to deal with that shit? After I warned them, good guys, solid guys and all, but, some of them girls are pretty ruthless and conned one of them out of $1,000 and didn't follow through, and all. And who had to deal with it? Me, that's who. And I was like, I chewed management's ass out about that shit. And I warned those guys. I was like, look, man, I would not go anywhere where somebody's going to make me undress. So,
That's right.
That's what I'll say to anybody that is in a club, man. If you got to take your cut off to go in there, that is so disrespectful for someone to ask you to undress. I'm not going in there. That's just how I roll. Not doing it.
I went everywhere in Mexico. Every club with this on, no problem. But you're right. North of Mexico, United States, Canada, some of them will ask you that. I won't go in places like that. No.
Me neither. I won't do it.
No chance.
And I warn those guys because that's disrespectful. You're being disrespected right off the bat. Why are you going to ask somebody to take off their clothes, man? I mean, to come in. No, so.
It is. It's a.
So I will not go. If no cuts allowed, I will not go. I will not go. And I will not go to Bike Week.
That's every day's purchase, apparently.
I won't go there, man. I told you, I was like, man, I'm just,
Where do real bikers go? Where do real bikers go in North America? North of Mexico, where do real bikers go?
What we do is we got some private land. Got a bar. I don't drink, okay, because I'm a real asshole when I drink, so I just don't drink.
Private property is your point.
Yeah, we go to private property, but we got a huge setup out there. I mean, and we can do whatever we want to do. It's private.
Let me ask you this: when do you remember where people would go on to private property? I remember when it started. Like I said, I'm 61. I remember the first time I ever heard they were going to private property. Yeah,
the keg. When I was 13 years old, I was going to keg parties, private property. $5, drink all the beer out of the keg you want. I was crazy.
Like biker get-togethers. Do you remember?
Well, my aunt introduced me to the Outlaws when I was like 13. So I hung out with those guys for a while, man. And I rode a Harley. I was the only kid that rode a Harley to middle school and all, but then life got in the way. My first wife got pregnant and all, and I just, walked away, But I love the brotherhood, man. How many members we got?
Well, just a little over 1,400 internationally. We're not a huge club by no means. I mean, the big clubs, they got, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 just in the United States alone. We're just a little guy, But we are an international club, and international rules in the biker world. You don't have to ask permission when you come into an area when you're international club. Just in case people don't know that. But that's an unwritten rule. That's what it is.
I go everywhere with my cup,
I
brother.
got to admit. Yeah.
I wore this at my mom's funeral, my man.
How much longer you want to do this interview here?
Man, you just got so much knowledge you dropped on me today earlier. You blew my mind, but we can do another one, you know, like, you know.
Sure. I got things that definitely need to be talked about. We'll do it again.
Definitely.
Time,
those definitely.
I really enjoyed this coming here and having this talk with you. I mean, give me an opportunity to tell you a few testimonies, you know.
Anytime, Perez, anytime. I appreciate you. You know that.
Absolutely. And may your Florida charter prosper, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
That's all I gotta say.
Thank you.
And I think it's really cool how you do this talk show, and you never took advantage or used anything to try and get a following. I mean, you did the opposite. You kept it quiet. I noticed that. You just roll, just you, and who you are, get followers and people interested in your show. I mean, that's off to you, brother. At least you're trying to make it a better world out there. I appreciate that, and I respect you for that.
Working hard, man. The toy run and all. We did get some kids some toys, so kids that wouldn't have got none if it weren't for the club.
Those are the best rides. The ones going to the churches and seeing some of those kids, because they know what's coming. Handing out some toys, teddy bears, and most of the girls like those, and soccer balls to the boys. And the smiles on their faces, it's like, that's what life is and rewards are. Those are the best rides.
Yes, they are.
That I've ever been on. And it's this time of the year. It's the only time of the year that you get a chance to do it.
Well, we definitely take advantage of it.
I think that's what matters.
We do what we can, man. Yeah.
Absolutely. Help out the kids, Those are the only angels they say there really is, right? Is the children, right?
Yeah.
They've never sinned, All right, brother. I guess I'll sign off, and all the best to you.
Yes, sir.
We'll do it again, huh?
Roger that. Yes, sir.
Right. So how do we hang up then?
I'll do it. I got you.
All right, man. Stay solid.
Always, my man. Solid as a rock.
That's right.
Solid as a tombstone, brother.
Yeah. Okay.